All right.
Good morning to you from London, everybody. It's Agnes, and I have got a interview for you today. It's with Stephanie, who is in Australia. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello.
Welcome
That's
to the interview.
Yes.
Well, you have got a interesting relationship story, starting off with a specific person, and then I'm not going to
Mm,
spoil it for people. I'm going to hand it over to you. Go ahead. Start at the
yeah.
beginning where you what happened.
I've actually had a quite a long history with law of attraction and manifesting specific persons, heaps of specific persons. I started it really young as well, about 16.
Sweet. What was I saying? I forgot. So basically, I was saying I've been through law of attraction, quite a long history of it since I was young, like 16 years old. We're talking. I'm 19 now.
Cool.
So, um, I've had a few specific persons. Not a lot of them worked out, ironically, and it took a long time to find the person that I think I'm going to spend the rest of my life with.
Mm.
It took a while. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, your last specific person that you really wanted
Mm,
to be with, can you
mm,
start with that and like say a little bit about
yeah.
what you were doing, what happened, etc.?
Well, I did a lot of the affirmations and the visualizations and whatnot, the things that you talk about on the channel,
Yeah.
and I did ended up getting him back, but, and there's a big but, it wasn't the right relationship for me, actually. He was very toxic, and he was actually cheating on me.
Okay.
And I don't say this to put fear in people, but sometimes the specific person that you want may not be the right option. That's what I think I believe in.
Yep. And how do you think you realized that? Like, was it just you kept trying to
Yeah.
change you and it wasn't changing on the outside? Was it kind of that kind of thing?
I kept thinking it was more like, well, I keep attracting this, I keep attracting that. I kept victim blaming myself,
Yes.
but it wasn't my fault. It was literally the mindset that I was in during that time. I I attracted a person that was stealing and taking advantage of me.
Mm.
That's what I think. Maybe I've got it wrong. I don't know. I'm still experiencing all this.
Yeah.
But I think that we attract people that are on a similar vibration to us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I was at a very low point, like really low.
Mm.
And during that time, actually, this wasn't expected, but I was talking to my friend, and he was a guy as well, and I didn't expect that I'd actually be with my friend. And he went through the whole breakup with me. I broke up with my ex, and I said I'm not going to tolerate this, the cheating. I'm not tolerating all this. And I ended up on that night that I broke up with my ex. I ended up being with my friend, my best friend.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
it's
had
just
he liked you for a long time and he hadn't said anything?
yeah.
Okay.
And I did as well. And I kept thinking about it. I kept thinking about him while I was with my ex.
Okay.
And I kept pushing it away. I kept going, no, 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 no. That's not right. That's not right. I should
Yeah.
be with this guy. I attracted this guy. Why don't I want this guy anymore?
Yeah.
But it's just weird how life throws that at you.
Yeah. Yeah. So your friend had all the qualities that you wanted
Yes,
in a
everything
relationship,
that I wanted,
and he was right there the whole time.
right there in my face, right in my face. We hung out with each other all the time, like almost every day, not every day, and
Yeah.
it was just unexpected, really. And
Mm.
he lives in where I live as well, and
Yep.
the other ex, he was long distance, so he was in America. And don't get me wrong, I believe in long distance,
Yeah.
but I think because I've always been in long distance, I never experienced something physical,
Yeah.
like face to face. So for me, that makes it a lot easier
Yeah.
having that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, long distance can work. I agree with you because it worked for me. But yeah, it's a lot more
Yeah,
difficult on your emotions because you don't have access to the person physically. So yeah, it is more challenging. Definitely possible. So
definitely. And it,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
it depends on the person you're meeting as well and where you're meeting that person. Like, I met this guy online on like an image board and like a dating site or whatever, which
Mm.
is fine. And that
Mm.
does work for some people.
Yep.
But I ignored a lot of red flags. Like, he had an abusive dad. He lived in North Carolina, so there was a lot of shootings and things like that in America, and his house got shot. Just toxic environment is what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I didn't realize that would have had an effect on us
Yeah.
because we don't. I think when people do this law of attraction, they don't realize the background of the other person. So they
Mm.
put assumptions on the person, but they don't realize that backgrounds can have an effect.
Oh, definitely. You know, what's happened in your childhood,
Yeah.
you bring into relationships for the rest of your life, and you do it
Mm,
unconsciously until you work
mm.
out, I got to make some changes. Yeah.
Because his dad was cheating on his mum, and he ended up cheating on me.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I,
Okay,
yeah,
let's bring up something in terms of everyone's you pushed out, looking back at where you were when all that was going on.
yeah.
What do you think you had active that, like you say, you weren't in a great space? What do you think you had going on in your thinking and in your beliefs that made you a match to that at that time?
I think I kept believing that I was always second best,
Yeah.
and to him, I don't want to get too too much information. When it comes to like sexual things, I felt like I was never enough, and that
Yeah.
I always had to please him, and
Yep.
it was never about me. It was always
Yeah.
about him, and there was
Yeah.
just no love
Yep.
in that connection.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of things to do with my childhood where my parents, they're okay now though, but they used to argue a lot, and I thought, well, this is just going to be my fate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm always going to have a partner that I'm not satisfied with.
Mm. Well, you only have one childhood and you only have two parents, and you get to,
Yeah,
that's the only thing, unless, you know, your grandparents raise you or someone dies or something, you only get one set of parents to show you the way. And you learn a lot from what you see, not necessarily from what
yeah.
they tell you.
And I'm lucky that I learned this young, because if I were to be with him right now, like, say for example, we met up and we develop a life together, blah blah blah, and down the line the shit keeps happening and I find out later on,
Yeah.
well, it's never too late, but it's like, well, fuck, I wasted my time.
Yeah.
But I,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So between your um, old specific person and the wonderful relationship you have now,
Yeah,
what are the qualities that you have now that you've attracted in your lovely new relationship that you didn't have with the other person?
definitely equality. That's
Yeah.
the first one, because
Mm-hmm.
the last relationship, he was very sexist.
Yeah.
He believed that women weren't strong, they
Mm-hmm.
were weak, that the man has to tower over them. But in this relationship, we go to the gym together. I have insecurities that I'm weak, but he says to me, no, you're not weak.
Mm.
You just need to work harder. Well,
Mm.
not work harder, but it's more like you can do anything that you want to do if you put the work in it.
Yeah, and just
And
develop that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and it really helps because I didn't have that in other relationships where it's like you're not relying on the other person for your happiness, but you need people to uplift you and
Yeah.
to say, yes, you can do it. And I believe in you.
Mm. But that
Yeah.
says a lot about where you're at, that you've attracted that
Yeah,
support.
exactly.
I am supported must be one of your
I'm
good
su-
affirmations.
yes, because ironically, I found a very good friendship group. And I always thought while I was with this guy, if nothing works out with this guy, I always have my friends. I always have my friends. always, 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 and they always got my back
Yeah.
all the time, and they do. And I'm in a lovely friendship group, and I have everything that I want.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's lovely. That's so great, because that's a reflection of you as well. The friendships, the relationship, it's all a reflection of where you're at any given time. I think it's so brilliant that you've learnt this so young, and now you take it into the rest of your life. It's like, you know, it doesn't matter what age you learn this,
Never too late though.
It's never too late, because it gives you relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can realize this in your 40s, you can realize this in your 30s, you can realize it when you're 12. Anytime you can realize it.
Yeah.
But it's always work. You always need to work on it.
Yeah.
And I will admit, I've been lazy with it. And I need to start working on it more, because when you're in a relationship and, you know, when the honeymoon phase goes on and you're like, oh, everything's great. I can just put all this, I can forget about the meditations. I can forget about the self-improvement. I have this person. And I have been doing that. But then later on in the relationship, the problems start kicking in.
Yeah, they
and then
do.
You're like, oh, shit, I forgot to think about myself. So now I'm like, I need to not rely on him.
For love.
For my happiness.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
It's always me.
For sure. And I think too, it's like, I don't know where we get this from, but we go, okay, I'm going to get into a relationship so I can get love. What about, let me get into a relationship so I can give love to it? That makes so much more sense, because you are then contributing rather than diminishing and taking from it. And that, I think, is the one thing that totally dismantles relationships at any age. People go in with, I need you to love me. And then when you stop loving me, you know, I get lots of emails from people that get angry when people stop loving them, that punish people when they stop loving them, that blame them when they stop loving them. You know, all this behavior, which is really kind of childlike behavior. That's what you do when you're a child. But when you're an adult, you still continue the same behaviors, and people don't want to be around it. So,
oh, it's disgusting.
It is. You look back at yourself.
Really gross.
Like you and I said before, you and I both did that, and we both look back at ourselves and go, oh, you know.
But you always get that temptation though, but it's about going, all right, I feel like this, I'm going to take a step back. Like today, I felt like that. I still feel like this, Agnes. I still do. But today I was like, because my partner was like to me today, oh, I've been going through some depression. I need the weekend alone. And I was like, oh, I'm really upset about it. But then I thought to myself, hey, wait, he needs the weekend alone. He needs his time.
Yep.
I'm going to be like, you know, that's fine. We'll see each other. When do you want to see me? Let me know when you want to see me. And he's like, we're still going to see each other like normal. I just need it this week. And I said, that's fine. And it's fine.
Isn't that great to actually respect what someone else wants and be mature enough to go, you know what? Oh, I'd really like to see you, but I love you. And therefore I'm going to step away and allow you to have what you want without me interfering or creating a drama or making it even harder for you. Oh, well, you don't want to see me, and you make it about you.
No.
Really
but I also need time for myself too.
Yeah.
I'm going to see my friends on Saturday. That's not stopping me. I said, oh, that's fine. I contact my friend, hey, let's go hang out.
Yeah.
Like, let's go do whatever.
Yeah.
Let's go draw, do whatever we want. She's like, yeah, sure.
That's so great. I love that too in my relationship. You know, my partner and I, we both come and go. We've got different things. We get together. We talk about what's going on. But I do think what you're saying about that honeymoon phase, because I get a lot of emails where people say, oh, I've got this fabulous relationship and I've got a great success story and I've met the person of my dreams and I know. And that's great. I go, excellent. That's wonderful. But come back to me after the honeymoon phase. Come back to me after 6 to 12 months. Then we'll see where you're at, because that's where you see how good you really are. 6, 12 months down the track. Anybody can be great in the first 3 months. And I'm not saying that to put a wet blanket on people's successes, but you got to realize you bring the best of you, and your fears and stuff haven't come up yet because the relationship's new. You've got no history. They haven't done anything bad to you. You haven't done anything to them. You haven't had any disagreements. it's after the 6 to 12 months that you really see what you're made of in terms of how solid is my self-love within this relationship.
Yes. And it's only really, we've only been together for about 4 months now, but it's now that it starts to be a bit difficult and challenging.
Yeah. But I think with you, Stephanie, you guys were friends first for quite a long time.
Yes, exactly.
So I think
we were.
That I think is a wonderful thing that you bring in, because you already know the person at a base foundation level. So I think in your case, it's slightly different because you've had a friendship with this person. How long were you friends for before?
Like half a year.
Okay. So yeah, you've got a bit of a base there to already have observed them as a human being.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's I never expected this to happen. The subconscious part of me wanted to, but I kept saying to myself, and this is what people kind of need to stop doing, is they need to stop holding out for a specific person. And what I mean by that is, if you're starting to think things like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I was with this other person? So we all think like that in relationships, but to the point, I was thinking this to the point where it was like consuming me every day. I kept thinking about him every day.
Yeah.
And you sometimes need to evaluate, like, is this specific person really a reflection of what I want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like you and I said before we started videoing, we look back at, like I look back at myself and you look back at yourself, and we were saying, instead of going, okay, the specific person isn't with me, how can I get them? You got to sort of take an aerial view and look down at yourself and go, oh my God, look at me. I am so obsessed. I am so fixated. I am so anxious. Look at me. Look at where I'm at mentally and emotionally, that I'm so fixated. And you look at yourself and you go, I was actually not in a really good mental state in general if I was that obsessed with anything.
Yeah. No, you can't be like that.
Yeah.
I used to be like that, and it's horrible.
It is.
Just every day, it's just painful.
Yeah. And you've got to work on, you know, it takes a while to unhook yourself from obsession, as you and I both know.
I hate it.
Yeah, it was awful, wasn't it? It affects your sleep, it affects your eating, it affects you're with friends and you're distracted, you're not even present.
No. You're just always thinking about this person. Like, when I'm with friends, I won't talk to him for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with my friends.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm with my friends, I'm going to give my energy to my friends.
And be focused and present. That's respect to the people that you're with, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, like, I have this one friend, she really helps me with my issues and stuff like that, but she's also, I'm not going to name any names, but she's been holding out for a specific person that they broke up with her in high school.
Yeah.
And she's been obsessed with her for 6 years. And like every day she's like, why isn't she with me? She's a lesbian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why isn't she? Because it can happen with gay people as well. Definitely.
It's the same. Yeah.
It's the same thing. She's like, why isn't she with me? Why is it this? And she gets really aggressive about it. And I haven't had the, guts to tell her that, hey, do you really want to be with this person? Because this person said to her, I don't want to be with you. Okay. I'm not gay and I have a boyfriend.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And she got really upset about that.
Yeah.
And it's like 6 years. And I'm like, how can you do that for 6 years?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a long time. And that whole thing of, like if you're heterosexual, like fully, or if you're gay, fully, I mean, there's bisexual too. So you can swing both ways if you're bisexual. But if someone is actually fully heterosexual or fully gay, you've got, I think there are some limits to this. You can manifest anything you want. I do know in one case where a guy who was gay, fully gay, not bisexual, was in a relationship he wanted to be in a relationship with
I
somebody.
think I saw this video.
Yeah, and he
That was
actually,
interesting.
it was really interesting because I think he took a risk and it paid off. This guy actually was living a heterosexual life. He hadn't come out as gay yet, but he was gay. And my friend, you know, at the time, and still is to this day with this person. But I think, and I do think
It
that
depends.
it depends. You take a risk. But I think if someone is fully heterosexual, if you're gay going after that person, I think you're setting yourself up for heartache. And I think, and in the reverse, if someone is fully gay and you're heterosexual and you're trying to swing them your way, I think you cannot break the laws of nature. You
Nah.
can't go against that law that someone is just the way that they are, and whatever sexual preference they have is a sexual preference they have. I think you got to be mindful of, because you end up causing your own self a lot of suffering. If you go after someone and you know that they are not on your team, so to speak, I think you can end up injuring yourself emotionally a great deal.
It's just interesting because she hasn't seen this girl for about, like, face to face for 3 years. And I'm thinking, well, if you do get together, will it be the same as it was back then?
Yeah.
You know?
Is the other person bisexual? Is the other person actually heterosexual or bisexual? Or she's not sure?
I don't know because she doesn't talk to her, but she's in a relationship, and she told my friend that I'm in a relationship and I don't want anything to do with you. Can you please leave me alone?
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm just, it's a heartbreaking situation because I can see how much it hurts her.
Yeah, it is.
But it's also like, let it go in a sense. Sometimes it's just
tough.
hard.
It's tough. And that's a level of obsession we were talking about, where someone
it's bad.
They can't see what's going on. Well, they see it, but they refuse to accept is what, you know. And I do think, unfortunately, a lot of this law of attraction stuff, Neville stuff, Abraham Hicks, et cetera, says you can do or be or have anything you want. I would say to that, a lot of the time, yes, but I think there's a percentage where you can't. And this is one of those cases where someone has actually said to you, I'm with someone of the opposite sex. I don't want to be with you. You know, I mean, that person can then go on and live in the end for as long as they want, if they want to. That's a choice. But do you want to do that to yourself when you've heard that information that's so kind of absolute from the other person? You know, and the thing is, every situation's different. You have to actually decide for yourself. There is no one that can decide for you. You can have all the information, all the advice in the world, but at the end of the day, you have to decide whether you're going to walk the path of letting go, surrender, and allowing, or am I going to try and get what I want, and am I going to cause myself more suffering, or am I, you know, you can't decide that stuff for people. We have to come to those crossroads in our own time and give people the respect to step back. But when you are on the other side and the suffering's gone, you can see more clearly for people around you, especially those that you know and love. You can sometimes see it because you're not in the pain of it. You're out of it. You're in the love of it. And with eyes of love, you can see a lot more clearly. You can.
Yeah. And, like, again, I attracted my ex. I did the affirmations. I did, you know, living in the end. And ironically, I was spending more time with my friend, the one that I'm with right now.
Yeah.
And that made me really happy. And I ended up attracting my ex again. He messaged me saying, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I got back with him. But then, we all know he cheated on me, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're really gambling with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when you're living in the end, a lot of people make this mistake. It's, all right, I'm going to live in the end and I'm going to be happy that this is going to happen, but you're not happy because you're content with yourself.
Yeah.
and you're happy with yourself and your own company. Because
Exactly.
when my ex was gone, I was just like completely happy having friends. I was just like, yeah, I
Yes.
love my friends. I love going out with my friends. I love doing fun things with my friends. I don't
Yeah.
care about having a relationship. I just like being with my friends. I
Yeah.
like doing my own thing.
Good for you. And you got back into having your own life and your own, minus all that obsession. It's such a freedom, isn't it? When you've been obsessed and then you finally divert away from,
Oh, that's great.
oh my goodness, you just feel like you've come out of prison. It's so, it's a mental prison. It is a mental
Yep.
prison, obsession.
Created
And
by you.
created by you. Yeah, it is.
And
Well,
relationships don't have to be like that.
yeah, relationships are easy. I mean, that's been my affirmation
Yeah.
for many years, but I do know a lot of people think relationships are hard. And
Nah,
that's
they're
why
not.
they're hard, is because you believe that they are. And then that big blanket sort of belief goes forth and brings you evidence. So they're
It's
not
so hard.
hard. They're actually not hard. I know in
They're
my
really easy.
relationship, they can be really easy. And the
Like a
easier,
friendship.
yes, like a friendship. Yeah, just with love and sex. That's what it is.
Well, you can't have sex with your friends. That's weird.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like you get the best of everything, you know?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm with my best friend, and
yeah,
we just have fun. We dick around, do whatever, you know.
yeah.
We do crazy stuff.
That's so Australian. We dick
Oh
around.
no, no, we do. Like we just go hang out with our friends, and we just drink a lot and like take silly photos and stuff like that. We have this one friend. He's an embarrassment. Like he's so off his head. Like he just vomits everywhere and stuff like
Oh my goodness.
He's so funny though. We just have fun.
That's
We,
good.
you just need to have fun.
Yeah.
Like
Well, you're
you know,
19. You're still
yeah,
19. I mean, this is,
yeah,
this is, this is, we all have different levels of fun at different ages. If it makes you
yeah,
laugh and you have
exactly.
a good time,
I
well,
have a good time. Yeah, and I'm with my partner, so it's whatever, you know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have fun.
I
I
think
have
that's
fun.
important, because when you're trying to get from somebody and they're not giving to you, you get a bit stern and not happy and
Nah,
grumpy, and
can't be like that.
you don't have fun. And it's like, I love that part of my relationship, is we have fun a lot, because I
Yeah,
think
but it's not exclusive to age.
it's not exclusive to age. No, you got to remember to have fun. You do. It's like, put some playfulness into your relationship. Honestly, when you're playful, people want to be around you. They do. They like you.
Oh, it's fun, man. It's
Because you're
fun.
light. You're not heavy and.
You just gotta chill out. Like, just chill out. Have a drink. Just chill
Yeah,
out. You
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And like, I don't. It's the thing with my relationship is it doesn't feel forced, and
Mm.
my ex, when I was going out and stuff like that, I was always worried, like, what's he gonna think about me? Is he gonna be worried that I'm cheating? Is he gonna be worried that I'm drinking too much? But I don't need to worry about this now.
Yeah,
You know,
that's so
like
good. That's so good.
it's just whatever.
And you live near each other, obviously, like quite close.
Yeah, he lives 30 minutes away from me.
Oh, good. That's
No, it's
good.
not too bad. So it's all good.
So, Stephanie, looking back at where you're at and where you're now and what you have around you, obviously with your friends and your lovely specific person relationship that was right next to you the whole time and
Mm-hmm.
you didn't see
Yeah,
it.
it's funny.
What would you say was the most helpful information for you when you look back at what you learned, what you applied, all that stuff? What do you think was the most important sort of top 3 things?
Oh, so attracting my current specific person?
Yeah, and just what you learned in between, like, looking back at your ex and looking at who you're with now, what do you think you learned that caused the transition of having someone so much better for you?
Well, the first thing is it's all about you. It's always about the position that you're in currently.
Yeah.
You gotta evaluate what kind of relationship do you want. Do you want a relationship where you feel freedom, or do you want a relationship where you feel like you're in a cage
Yeah.
and you don't have freedom? you got to make those choices. And I don't mean freedom as in I'm going to cheat on this person, I'm going to do this to this person. I mean freedom as in I don't need to feel like I owe anything or they owe anything to me. It's just we're just having fun.
Yeah.
You
Good.
know?
Nice. That's a good first thing. Is that that's a huge realization. The person's not there for me and I'm not there for them. We bring our own happiness into it. Yeah. And what else would you say?
Yeah. And I think the second one is I'm trying to think. We always need to think, is this really the right choice?
Okay.
And when I was attracting those specific people, and I've tried to attract a few, with my ex and stuff like that, I didn't realize that a lot of his background issues would affect me. And is it really a good idea to choose that kind of person? Does that make sense?
Yeah. You mean for your emotional and mental?
Yeah, because I felt like I was he was sucking energy out of me. Because he always would manipulate me emotionally. And you always need to think, is this going to suck energy out of me?
Yeah.
And yes, that is pushed out as well.
Yeah.
Where it's like, am I going to take it? Am I going to allow this to happen to me?
Yeah. I think part of self-love is setting boundaries. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
You know, while you're imagining a different living in the end scene, I think this is something that we don't talk about enough, is you have, as part of your self-love responsibility, to set boundaries when stuff comes at you that you don't want around you, until you get strong enough that you've changed the beliefs that you no longer have it in your orbit.
Yeah, it is all about you though, and what you see and what you have your childhood. And I grew up, I mean, my dad wasn't really there a lot of the time. I mean, I love my dad, but he wasn't really much of a dad. So it was always mostly just my mum. And I attracted a person that if I were to have a future with him, it'd be like that.
Yeah.
We always need to think about that.
Yep.
Our childhood, that's the third point. Our childhood is so, I didn't realize this.
Yep.
I didn't realize this until recently. But man, our childhood sets up the foundations of what we're experiencing in our life.
Yeah, and you have no idea about that while it's happening. You just have it's weird, isn't it?
It's deeper than subconscious. It's your very being.
Yeah.
It's just you. Because we have subconscious thoughts, and I'm not saying you can't change childhood thoughts, but it's a lot more difficult, and it's always going to be there. It's how you kind of manage it.
Yeah. I agree. I think, and I do think a lot of fathers, you know, I mean, you're 19 and I'm in my 50s, but my father wasn't present either because he was out working. And then, you know, mum was the one that looked after us. So sometimes it's just, you know, it's not
Wog families. I'm telling you, I'm a wog. It's a wog family thing.
Yeah, because they've got the belief you have to work hard for money, you see. That's like the Europeans.
That embedded.
It's in the DNA. My
grandma keeps saying to me, you need to work hard, you need to get into university, you need to get a good job, you need to get this, you need to get that. And I'm like, oh, I'm freaking out. Freaking out.
Yeah.
And you know.
I used to believe that too. I'd think, oh, I'm inadequate, I'm not working hard. And then it's like, I'm like, hang on a minute. No, you don't have to work hard. You have to work in a smart way so you don't flog yourself and you completely smash yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally, like a lot of the generations above us they believed that you had to work hard, and that's fine. I'm not going to judge that generation with today's eyes, but things have changed. You do not have to work hard. You have to work in a much smarter way so you can maintain your own mental, emotional, and physical health. So, and you keep your self-love intact. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I hear that now, I nearly roll my eyes. I go, there's another person saying you have to work hard. Okay, well, you keep doing that and I'll do it my way, because I'm, not waking up with an alarm
Very old
clock
school
anymore. It's very old school.
Yeah, and like I'm trying to attract another trip to Japan, actually, because I love that country.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just research it and I go, I just think about it like, oh, it'd be beautiful, it'd be wonderful. And I just daydream about it and stuff like that. I create,
Yeah.
I plan my trip.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, but it works.
It does. Stephanie, I used to put a suitcase in my bedroom open on the floor, and I'd put I had no money, and I was just thinking, I know I can travel. Let's try this. And, I would just put the clothes for that country, and I'd put my passport on top, and, I'd get excited.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. And I mean, my life is, I'm traveling all the time. So it worked.
Look at you now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually an idea. I watched one of your videos. You're like, I'm going to manifest 2 trips to London this year. And I thought to myself, oh my God.
It was
wouldn't
4.
It be nice?
It was 4.
Oh my God.
And then I laughed, Stephanie, because I thought, oh, how the hell are you going to do that? Because I didn't have the money at the time.
Really?
Yeah, I made this bold statement. I remember I was standing in the kitchen. I was in Sydney, Australia. I was in my flat. And I went, right, I'm going to travel 4 times overseas to London, fully paid, in 2016. Because
how the hell did you do that?
I don't know. I had this bold moment, and then I kind of went, uh-oh, how the hell am I going to do that? And then I shrunk
And you're in
back.
London again.
And now I've been coming to London 4 times a year.
There you go.
Sydney, since I made that bold statement it was around November, December 2015. I made that statement to myself, and then I laughed because I went, how the hell is that going to happen? But I made that statement, and it's been my life since 2016.
Yeah.
And no debt.
But,
I wanted to do it debt free, no debt.
Oh, right, yeah. So no
borrowing,
loans or anything like that?
No borrowing, no loans, no credit cards, no, fully paid. I did not want to have debt. Because then you really enjoy the trip, because you're not bringing back a burden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It is.
I should do that, actually. I should just, because I'd probably just do carry-on luggage and buy a suitcase in Japan so I can put all the stuff that I buy in there.
Back. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff there that I'm an artist.
Yeah.
So I like buying art supplies, and Japan has like there's an art store with 4 floors of art supplies. Wow. I'm not kidding.
Beautiful.
I am not kidding. There you go. I love it.
Well, you can always put your backpack on the floor with your passport on top.
Yeah. I'm going to do that.
Worked for me. And it's, it's worked so well that it's become my whole life. I just move around every 2 to 3 months. I'll go back somewhere.
But so, it's hard. It's hard sometimes, really getting into that, but you just need to have fun with it.
Yeah, just make it fun. And even if it's hard, just go, I'm going to keep doing the steps anyway, even if I don't believe it. Because I used to look at my suitcase and I'd think, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind?
Really? Well, it does happen, though.
But it was just between me and me. No one got to see it. So, it was like dissolving those doubts, dissolving that whole unbelievability, over time. I love traveling. Every time I saw a plane, I was in Sydney and I was in the inner west. So I was very close to the flight path. So I saw planes a lot. So I'd be sitting there. Every time I saw a plane, I would stop, I would look up, and I'd go, I love flying in planes. I love flying.
Oh, it's hell though. God, 24-hour trips. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I do heaps of.
You don't mind it?
No, I do affirmations for hours and hours. Really. And then I watch a movie, I eat, I sleep. But yeah, I do hours worth of affirmations. I just go into some weird zone, and because it's uninterrupted. You don't have any technology. I mean, you can get Wi-Fi up there now, but I refuse. I like to have time to myself.
I don't like it either.
Yeah.
What's the point of it? You're on a plane.
Well,
Look
yeah,
at the
it's your
sky or
time.
something.
It's your time. That's what I love. It's
I
time
think
to,
we're too invested in technology,
yeah, it's good to unplug. Good to unplug.
myself included. But
Yeah, unplug and go and, you know, do your affirmations, do a meditation, go for a walk, look at nature, go to a movie.
nature's the best.
Nature is the best. I agree. It's such a way to get into that feeling of freedom so easily, I think.
I used to just meditate on the grass. Like it makes you grounded.
It does.
No, literally, it does, because
Yep.
you're on the ground.
Yeah.
You're not on
yeah.
a carpet. You're not on concrete. You're on the ground.
Yeah, yeah. I love when I'm in Sydney, I love doing it at the beach. You know, you just lay on your towel and you got the
Hope
sun
no
on
one
your face.
kicks
It's great.
sand in your face, though. That'd be annoying.
Yeah, well, the good thing is I try and go to beaches where there's not too many people, you know, the
I wanna go back
outskirts
to the
ones.
beach. Oh, yes, and not like Bondi or something.
No, not like Bondi. I totally avoid Bondi Beach, but yeah, it's good. Well,
Well,
my
Sydney's
lovely, that was so good.
Yes.
Lovely, lovely, wonderful
Yes.
information. I think it's so good to hear where I was, what I did, where I'm at. You know, I think people,
Yes.
there's so many different ways to get there, and it's so great hearing how different people do it. So good to hear how you did it and that you're
It wasn't
happy.
too confrontational.
No, I mean, look, your story is your story. I always think, you know, everybody's experience, you can't argue with someone's experience because it's
No.
theirs. You know, you can argue with knowledge out of books or information
exactly.
on Google or whatever, but someone's experience is theirs. You cannot take that away from them. And that, you know, there's nothing to argue with. They got a result from what they did and how they interpreted it and how they applied it. So you go, well, hey, that gives me something to think about. If it was different to what I was thinking, that gives me something new too. So I love that because everybody does it slightly different, but I do see the people that do have success and it's sustainable and they continue to have success is those that understand that the self-love you have to bring into relationships. You cannot go into relationships trying to get.
And it's always work. Always need to work on it.
It's always work. It's an endless
It won't be
journey.
perfect.
No, it's not, you know. Maintenance of a relationship is, I think, more challenging than attracting somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was great.
Yes. Beautiful. All right, my lovely. You want to say goodbye to everybody?
Goodbye. Have a good one.
Goodbye from Sydney.
Yes.
Nighttime in Sydney. Stephanie's nighttime in, not Sydney, in Australia.
Yes.
And I am morning in London, and we're bookending at different times of the day. But thank you, Stephanie, for hopping on and having a chat with me. Bye, everybody.
Yes, it's great. See you later.
See you in the next YouTube. Stephanie, stay on and we'll say bye in private. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.